And good evening, everyone. Welcome back to West Prairie High School, night number 2 of IHSA Class A regional action as the host West Prairie Cyclones playing another West, but it's the Central variety. West Central Heat here tonight. West Central on the floor now doing their warm-ups. John Burton alongside. I'm Dwayne Hewlett. John, should be a good game tonight, I think. West Prairie coming off a quarantine, well, a self-imposed quarantine of some sorts. They had enough people to play, right? But they decided to take the week off and heal up or get unquarantined anyway.
Yeah, no, and before that quarantine, West Prairie was definitely on a skid of sorts, not playing as well as they were in the first half of the season. So we'll see if maybe after that break they come back in here rejuvenized, playing with a little bit more energy, and we'll see if they can walk out of here with a win tonight maybe.
They were in here warming up a little bit. They just got off quarantine, I think, technically on Sunday, right?
Yes.
So they haven't had a whole lot of time to get back in the flow of things. But sometimes late in the year, a little break is just what the doctor ordered. So we'll see if that helps the Cyclones, as we're about a minute away from game time, as was the case last night. I will be doing the announcing of the starting lineups and the national anthem and so on and so forth this evening. So what I'll have John do, I guess, since I got the microphone hooked up tonight, John, I'll have you hold that up and try to get the national anthem when we get to that point.
Alrighty.
But we will announce the starting lineups here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH, just as we would on the regular. Do want to tell you the pregame show brought to you by JoJo's Gaming Parlor. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out TSSR Game Time Live events presented by MDH live on the big screen. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell, and cheer our area teams on to victory. So it is do or die time now for everybody in the state of Illinois that's still playing volleyball. A few teams had their season end last night, including A-Town, who lost to North Fulton here at the opening round of regional play at West Prairie High School. But, John, it's one of those deals where there's a little added pressure. If you want to keep playing, you got to play good.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that we've seen West Prairie able to overcome throughout most of the season. And if you're West Central, you're going to be looking to knock off the higher-seeded team here. And coming off that extended break, like we said, maybe West Prairie won't play as good coming off that break as we might expect.
Oh, or maybe they'll play better. We'll wait and see.
Guess we'll just have to find out.
They could play some inspired volleyball as we're waiting on the balls to get off the court here as we start our national anthem. All the practice balls get wheeled to the back area, and the athletic director, Jason Finch, has got to get everything set up and ready to go for the national anthem here tonight. As I said, got to get everything cleared off. The Heat look like they're ready for the national anthem and starting lineups. So, good evening and welcome to West Prairie High School for tonight's varsity matchup between the Heat of West Central High School and your West Prairie Cyclones. At this time, please rise. Gentlemen, remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. And now the starting lineups. First for the visiting Heats. At right back, wearing number 6, Bailey Ferguson. At right front, wearing number 20, Angelina Mayhew. At middle front, wearing number 5, Bailey Ryan. At left front, wearing number 21, Libby Miller. At left back, wearing number 12, Bree Kidd. At middle back, wearing number 4, Harley Haynes. And libero, number 10, Carly Tate. The Heat are coached by Rose Griffin, assisted by Victoria Tapscott and Lacey Thacker. And now the starting lineup for the home team, the Cyclones of West Prairie High School. At left back, wearing number 3, Grace Venane. At left front, wearing number 8, Addison Despain. At middle front, wearing number 11, Maddie Hood. At right front, wearing number 6, Kinley Welsh. At right back, wearing number 9, Allie Arnold. At middle back, wearing number 12, Ellie Powell. And libero, wearing number 1, Jersey Brown. The Cyclones are coached by Terry Paul, assisted by Drew Snyder and Patty Clark. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there is the starting lineups for tonight's contest. The officials are taking their positions. A little different, still not quite used to all this COVID, no handshake, everybody doing things differently concept that we've got going on here in IHSA, but it is what it is, I guess, John, correct?
Yeah, just got to play the cards with dealt, Dwayne.
So we deal with it, move on, and the best part about it is, in all honesty, the kids are getting to play, and I guess that's all that we can ask for right now.
That's
right?
what matters most above all else.
So West Central and West Prairie for a chance to move on to play the winner of United and BPC, which is the game next on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. West Prairie will serve first, and it will be Grace Venonic back to serve. I looked and thought I saw a 6 for a second. Like, that wasn't right. Grace, the jump serve is dug and then knocked back to the floor on the overpass. Hood with the kill unofficially. Was I correct on that?
I believe so, yep.
And Venonic gets the service point with the jump serve. It was Carly Tate on the dig. I drew a complete blank there. I apologize. There's a serve off the arm of Harley Haynes, an ace for Venonic. And just like that, it is 2-0 Cyclones here in set number 1 as we prepare for the first round of regionals here. Her serve that time into the net, and it looks like our scoreboard is not. There it came back. It came up finally. The serve into the net results in a point for the Heat. And back to serve for the Heat. And a deep hit by Welsh is out. It is number 6 serving. Bailey Ferguson gets a point on the middle. It comes. Ryan's going to send a free pass over. Arnold is there. Venonic tracks it down. Arnold's going to have to send a free ball across. She does. It's tipped across by Ferguson. Now it's going to be hit by Despain, dug by Tate. Mayhew's going to bump it across. Arnold's there. Venonic's going to set backside to Welsh, and down the line it's in. A kill for the Cyclones and Kinley Welsh, and it's a side out for West Prairie.
And that's exactly what you want to see if you're a fan of the West Prairie Cyclones, getting these hitters going early, looking to snowball some momentum and run away with this game possibly.
Addison Despain with the jump serve. Little miscommunication. Ryan finally has to come get it. Not an ace, just a problem with the communication is the setter, who in this case is Bailey Ferguson for West Central, was unable to get that, and Tate and Ryan ended up fighting over it. Despain's jump serve is deep. It is dug by Haynes. Now it's going to be set middle on the digs Vanonic. Now Brown's going to hit to Vanonic from the back row. Into the net it goes, a side out for the Heat. Cuts the lead to 4-3. Mayhew takes a seat. Tate stays in for her. Checking into the front row will be Bree Kidd for the Heat. Vanonic with a bump set. Back row attack by Despain goes into the net. And it's knotted at 4 apiece. First point for Carly Tate. Tate's serve goes middle. Arnold's there. Vanonic quick to Welsh, and it's a hit out of bounds. Another hitting error. And it's 5-4, and a timeout on the floor very quickly. Charged to the Cyclones. We'll take a break as well and be back here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH right after this.
At Country Financial, we enjoy serving the community in which we live, big or small.
I love living in the Blandonsville area. It's where I grew up, went to school, and decided to raise my family. I never had a desire to live or work anywhere other than in a small town. I feel lucky to help my longtime friends and neighbors with their insurance needs. It's like working with family every day.
I'm Brett Powell, your local Country Financial representative, whose door is always open to work with you.
Welcome back to West Prairie High School. Carly Tate ready to serve again. She's served 2 straight. That's deep to Despain. Vanonic going to go far side to Arnold, who pushes it across. Kidd is there. Set to Kidd, and it set from Ferguson went right to the net. Kidd couldn't do anything with it. And it's a side out and a tie score one more time as the Cyclones serve. A deep serve is out. That was by Maddie Hood. She'll take a seat now as Jersey Brown replaces her, but a 1-point advantage again for the Heat. 6-5 is number 5, Bailey Ryan, back to serve now for the Heat. Despain is there. Vanonic to number 12, Ellie Powell. Kidd bumps it across. Despain's there. Vanonic to Powell again, a tip. Kidd digs it. Tate going to give a free ball now by Libby Miller. Now Vanonic's going to back set to Welsh. She hits it deep and out of play. And it's 7-5. A point for Bailey Ryan. Largest lead of the contest now for West Central. Despain, Vanonic to Powell, blocked in the middle. It's dug. Now Hood's going to push it across. She finds a low spot, and then it's going to come all the way out of bounds. Arnold with the tip and the kill. Kinley Welsh back to serve now. Dug by Tate after the side out. It's 7-6. Kidd sends it across. Vanonic's going to do a little tip. And Grace Vanonic with the kill. A point for Kinley Welsh. And we're knotted at 7s now here in set number 1. Carly Tate has it. It's going to be hit across by, that was Haynes on the hit. Now Tate's going to send it back across. No, Haynes is going to set it again. Vanonic to Despain, and it goes off of a diving Ferguson. A kill for Despain. And another point for Kinley Welsh. That was a back row attack for Despain, actually. That's a deep serve and off Carly Tate. An ace for Kinley Welsh. And it is 9-7. The crank zone was pretty empty to start this game. It's getting a little fuller as we move along. Welsh's next serve goes deep and out of play. Side out to West Central. Back to serve for West Central will be number 21, Libby Miller, as her team now trails by 1, 9-8, and this has been a back-and-forth contest this far. Her serve is off of Arnold. Welsh is there. Arnold's going to send a free ball across. It's going to fall short. It is dug. Miller's going to get there, and it's going to be an overpass, and Ellie Powell can't do anything with it. It's going to fall, and we're knotted at 9. Sometimes when you do things out of system, they work for you, and that's one of the things that happened there for the Heat. Miller back to serve again. She has served one service point and knotted the score at 9. This time Jersey Brown is there. Vanonik's going to set middle to Powell. It's blocked by Haynes. Brown. Vanonik's going to send it across deep. Ryan sends it back across on an overpass. It's going to be back to Despain for a back row attack. It's going to hit the net and fall in just barely for Addison Despain and a side out. That's 2 back row attack kills for the Cyclones' Addison Despain. Arnold now serving for the Cyclones as that one, the pass went into the net, couldn't do anything with it. And Arnold is going to get a service point. Make the score 11-9 now. Arnold's next serve, very short. An overpass. Powell is there, and I think she hit it out. She did. That was a perfect set, John, right to her, but she got a little over-anxious.
Yeah, and that's not something that we saw a lot from the Cyclones throughout the season, having these hitting errors and service errors. I know it's something that Coach Paul preaches about when she comes up and does the interviews after the games. So we'll see if West Prairie can dial in some of these things and look to extend their lead here.
Vanonik, another kill from her setter's position. She gets the side out. Jersey Brown going back to serve now as Vanonik now has her second kill, and back to serve will be the libero, Jersey Brown, for the Cyclones. Carly Tate to Miller, who tips it across. She says, anything you can do, I can do, but she can't do it better. Vanonik's going to send it across now. Miller. And a back row attack attempt by Ryan falls well short. Jersey Brown's going to get the point, and it's 13-10. The Cyclones with the lead. They've settled things down just a smidge here. Now another overpass is coming. And Addison Despain says, I'm not going to hit it out. I'm going to drive it right at your feet. That's what she did. Timeout on the floor. Charged to the Heat. It's 14-10. The Cyclones with the lead as Addison Despain gets her third kill. First from the front row, actually. And Jersey Brown gets her second service point. You're watching TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Brought to you tonight by McDonough District Hospital. McDonough District Hospital athletic trainers and the MDH Rehabilitation Center with locations in Bushnell and Macomb provide expert help to Cyclone student athletes in the prevention, care, and rehabilitation of athletic injuries. Learn more at mdh.org. McDonough District Hospital, more than hospital care, a hospital caring. And Country Financial agent Brett Powell, your farm is your legacy as a leading farm insurer. Country Financial is here to help protect it. Call Brett Powell, your local country rep, at 309-652-3889 for a free quote today. Brown's next serve. Tate's there. Miller's going to set near side to Mayhew. Jersey Brown with a nice diving dig. It's going to go to Despain, and it's off of Mayhew. A nice job. Haynes gets it across. Phelps is there. She's going to go now back row on it to Welsh. Vanonik hits it into the net, but the second attempt gets it over. There's a block. Brown is there. Vanonik now is going to tip it. It's going to be carried by Haynes. No call. It's going to go back across the net. Vanonik now to Despain. A block, and it falls. Haynes gets the block for the Heat. May have got away with a smidge of a carry there, but you got to keep playing, which the girls did. But Haynes came and got a big-time block, a side out, and she goes back to serve now for the Heat. Deep and out of play. A jump serve goes awry for Harley Haynes, and Grace Vanonik goes back to serve for the Cyclones. The jump serve coming. Haynes is there. Miller, and then Ryan comes up with one hand, somehow gets it over the net. Going to go back to Despain. Despain's a little tip. Mayhew's there. Miller goes middle to Ryan, and it's into the net. And I guess they said it was a block, but it was dug nonetheless into the net. So Grace Vanonik's going to get the point. 16-11 is the score. Grace Vanonik serve off the arms of Haynes and out. 17, and Vanonik's going to get her fourth and second ace. She served the first 2 points of the match, gave her squad a 2-0 lead. They then fell behind, and now they have taken control. 17-11 here in set number 1. Cyclones, Venonic with the serve. Tate slants right in front of Haynes. Now Ryan's going to do a left-handed attack as she went into the net either way. Venonic's going to get her 5th point. And, John, the wheel's falling off a little bit here for West Central.
Yeah, and as we saw early, West Prairie starting off slow, maybe due to that extended break that they had, but now they've come out here firing here in the second half of this game as we see another serve going to go off of the back row there, and another point for West Prairie, courtesy of Grace Venonic.
Yeah, Haynes, again, having some trouble in the back row. She comes to sit down. Checking in will be Morgan Campbell. Venonic deep and out that time. A side out stops the bleeding, at least momentarily, for West Central as they trail 20. I've got 20. The scoreboard has 19. I'll go back to 19 then. Venonic. That is Ferguson. Tipped across by Miller. Deep to Ferguson. Miller's going to come up and give it a bump. Ryan gets it across. Phelps is there. Venonic. Welsh with the kill. Kinley Welsh gets her 2nd kill. And a side out for the Cyclones makes it 20-12. Go ahead.
I was going to say, big play there to get the service back to West Prairie. Hopefully they can capitalize here and look to close out this game.
Despain's serve. Tate tries to hit it across. She goes outside the foul pole. And Dawn Torrance puts up the signal she's one of the line judges tonight. She put up the signal. Not sure anybody needed to know whether that was in or out or not. Service into the net for Despain. Makes it 21-13 on the side out, and Carly Tate goes back to serve. She's served 2 service points in her first service. Arnold is there. Back row to Despain, and it goes off of a diving Bailey Ferguson, and Despain gets her 3rd kill from the back row. That's something you don't hear very often, but they do like to feed her the ball in the back row. It's a side out, 22-13, and back to serve was Maddie Hood. Tate sends it over. Despain is there. Venonic tracks it down. Arnold now from the left side. Tate with a dig. It's pushed across by Ryan. Venonic's going to set back to Arnold again. She's going to tip it this time. Kidd is there. She's going to go back to Ryan with the left hand. Despain. Venonic middle to Powell. She's going to tip it, and it's going to fall.
Nice play there from Elliot Powell, just tipping the ball over the blocks up front and able to drop that one in for a West Prairie point.
Hood back to serve again. Back set from Miller to Ryan. Now Venonic's going to be on the set, far side to Arnold, who goes and gets it just over the net. Kidd got there. I don't know how Kidd got that up, but she did. Ferguson bumps it across. Despain. Back sets from Venonic to Welsh, and yeah, that was not into the net, but I thought for a second there, John, they were going to let it go. Bailey Ryan going back to serve. Harley Haynes checking back in. It's 23-14. The Heat need to make a run here if they want to stay in this first set. Venonic. Arnold pushes it across. Kidd is there. Miller's going to set to Kidd. She's going to tip it off the block, and it'll fall. Bree Kidd gets her 1st kill of the contest. Unofficially, that's the first kill I have them for at all. It's 23-15. Excuse me, that's Ferguson back serving. Oh, it is Ryan. Ryan got a service point. In to serve is number 4, Ava Beck for the Cyclones. Deep. Tate receives. Miller sets the Kidd. Despain is there. Venonic to Powell. To Ferguson. Now Miller's going to set Kidd again. She tips it over and out. And that is game point, or set point as they like to call it now. 25-15. West Prairie gets the win in set number 1. We'll take a break here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH and be back in just a couple minutes.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation does more than just tape ankles.
They get us back on the court.
My MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation
Helps me reach peak performance.
in the weight room.
Prepares me for competition.
My MDH physical therapists and the fitness programs MDH offers help me on my road to recovery and improve my quality of life.
Come see why MDH Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation was voted best of the best in McDonough County.
I became a nurse practitioner because I wanted to do more, I wanted to learn more, actually have more hands-on individually with patients. The rewarding part for me is that I get to come to work and learn something new every single day.
Some farmers I know swear by a name, say they'd never operate anything else. Well, here are a few names for my Fendt 900 Gen 6 series. Fuel Saver, Time Maximizer, Game Changer. I like those names.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit.
The new facility, the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center, this is a quality facility that the patients need to match the quality of care.
And then we also have a new clinic, which is state-of-the-art.
And here at McDonough, we have a team. And everybody feels like they're a part of the successes that we have.
We have a strong team in our office and in labor and delivery. You will get the best care at McDonough District.
Welcome back to West Prairie High School. Cyclones lead 1-0. BPC is in the house for their game against United in a few minutes. And this one will be a little while or be pretty quick. We'll wait and see here. West Prairie has up 1-0. And John, after a slow start, boy, they really came alive. And it was tied at 7-7. And then after that, it was all West Prairie.
Yeah, I mean, West Prairie came out the gates, had a few hitting errors, few service errors, something we're not used to seeing. I've done a couple of the games here, almost all of the West Prairie volleyball games here, and that is not something that we're used to seeing. As we mentioned, could be a partly rust after that extended COVID break, but they shook it off and they played well in the second half of that game. Were able to come away with the win.
Ferguson was the server. Ryan's going to send it across, and it's going to go in just barely. It might have smacked the backside of the line. I do agree that it was in, but it couldn't have been much closer as Bailey Ferguson gets her second service point. Vanonic is going to set to Welsh, who sends it across. Mayhew. Ryan hit it. Now it's going to be Vanonic sending it across to Ferguson. Miller sets. Tate has to push it across from the back row. Vanonic's going to go far side to Despain, and that is in. A kill for Addison Despain, her fifth of the contest, and it will be side out to West Prairie. All right, Carly Tate receives the serve from Vanonic. Vanonic now to set. Back to Welsh, and into the net it goes. A side out back to the Heat. And it is 2-1 as we're going back and forth here. Carly Tate back to serve, the libero for the West Central Heat. Vanonic goes to Welsh, who has to push it across. Ferguson's there. Miller now back to Haynes in the back row. It's dug by Vanonic. Despain's there. Now Vanonic's going to send a free ball across. Tate's there. Miller's going to back set it. Brown with a dig. Phelps gets it. Now it's going to go across by Despain. Ferguson now to Kidd. Off the tip of Welsh, and Bree Kidd's going to get her second kill, if I remember correctly. It is her second. Service point for Carly Tate is her third of the match, and it's a 2-point advantage now for the Heats. Serve goes to Jersey Brown. Vanonic's going to tip it across, and their little fight over it, but Ferguson's going to get it to Miller, who sets it across. Vanonic now back set to Welsh. She's going to tip it off the block of Kidd, and Kinley Welsh is going to get another kill, and a side out for the Cyclones. Her third kill. Maddie Hood. No, it's not. It's Despain, excuse me. Back to serve. I was out of rotation a little bit. Haynes, an overpass. and it's going to go on the West Prairie side. So a side out, back to a 2-point advantage, and Bailey Ryan back to serve now for the Heat. 4-2 is the score. Back row attack coming from Despain. It's off the block. Miller is there. Now Ryan comes to get it. Kid's going to push it across. Jersey Brown's there for the dig. Allie Arnold with the attack. It's blocked. It's dug, and now it's going to be Vanonik sending it across. Tate is there. Miller's going to set middle to Haynes. Haynes off of Vanonik. Welsh gets it. Now it's going to be Allie Arnold. Haynes. Miller's going to set near side to Kidd, who pushes it over the block. Brown gets there, and nobody else can get there after Brown, as Vanonik was leaning back. She couldn't get there either. It's one of those things where you're kind of, everybody's leaning the wrong direction. A point for Ryan and a 5-2 lead for the Heat. Bump set goes to Arnold, who gets it to Kidd. Now middle it goes to Haynes on the set. Now Vanonik's going to go backside to Welsh, off the block into the net, and Kinley Welsh is going to get another kill. Her fourth.
This second set here feels a lot like the first set. Back and forth early. As we saw last set, West Prairie was able to come away. Maybe West Central can get some of that to go in their favor here, as the serve from Maddie Hood is going to go off West Central.
Welsh is blocked. Haynes and Kidd with a block. And a side out again for the Heat. That was Hood serving. Libby Miller back to serve now for West Central, and it goes in, actually goes under the net. It's 6-4. Checking in for the Cyclones, number 4, Ava Beck to serve. She replaces Kinley Welsh. The referees giving the crank zone a bit of a what for. There was a little bit of yelling done during the serve, and you can cheer the whole time, but you can't yell right as they're serving. It's kind of like, I guess, golf, for lack of a better term, right? Can't yell in their backswing. Beck's serve is dug. It's going to be an attempt to hit across by Tate. Is going to fall short. Ava Beck's going to get her first service point. Close her team to within 1, 6-5. Beck's serve. Tate's there, and she caught it practically. Now they're going to try and get it across, and Ferguson could not do so. It's tied at 6-6. And a second service point for Ava Beck. Here's Beck's next serve. Bailey Ferguson sends it right to Ellie Powell, but the problem is Ellie Powell plays for the other team. A kill for Powell, a point for Beck, and West Prairie has their first lead, 7-6. Beck's next serve is dug by Ryan. We pushed across by Haynes. Brown is there. Vanonik tips it, and again it falls in. Grace Vanonik, another kill. And, John, that move for Grace Vanonik has been deadly against this Heat squad.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Dwayne, it's deadly against most squads. We've seen her do that throughout most of the season. At least I have, as I said. Done a lot of the West Prairie games, and that is just one of her signature moves, and it tends to work about 90% of the time.
Now Powell's going to return the favor and set Vanonik. Haynes is going to come across as a little tip up got to Haynes, and Haynes gets the kill for the Heat to turn things back around a little bit. Bree Kidd back to serve for West Central. Her squad now down 8-7 as they got, I guess, 9. I got 9. I don't know how I ended up with one extra one, but Arnold. Now it's going to be Mayhew on the attack. Arnold on the dig. Bump set goes back to Arnold, and she's going to hit it deep down the left line out of play, and we are knotted at 8 apiece now. As Kidd got the service point, and that time she serves it into the net, so it's going to be a side out, and Allie Arnold will go back to serve for West Prairie. Number 9 serving with 9 points for her team, looking for number 10 here as Arnold goes to Carly Tate. Miller tracks it down. Ryan's going to hit it from the back row out of play. And it is 10-8 as Allie Arnold gets her second service point. Arnold's next serve is short and falls under the net. side out to West Central. Haynes will go back to serve. Janie Phelps checks in for the Cyclones. Haynes, the jump serve coming here for West Central, and into the net it goes. 11-9's the score now as Maddie Hood checks in. Jersey Brown goes back to serve, and Ellie Powell takes a seat. Brown serve, dug by Haynes. Ryan with the attack. Beck was there. Now Despain on the hit. It's dug by Haynes. Ryan's going to tip it across. Now Vanonic's going to set out to Despain again. Off the block, Haynes is there for another dig. Now it's going to go to Tate on a free ball. It does go to get across. Vanonic to Brown. Back to Vanonic. It's going to be Haynes on another dig. That's 3 digs in a row for Haynes, and then it's a one-arm dig by Tate. A good job by Ferguson, and Ferguson hit the net after she hit it, and that was just an afterthought. That's one of those things, I think, John, where she was there and she was done. She didn't have to hit the net. She just kind of stuck her hand out there to push back.
Yeah, definitely, and that could show to be a big play here as West Prairie is able to keep the ball with them and extend their lead out here.
Ryan deep and in. What a placement by Bailey Ryan. A kill, and it's a side out. 12-10 is the score. Ferguson back to serve now. Vanonic's going to go to Despain, who now an overpass by Tate, a big-time hit by Despain. Tate gets another dig. Now Mayhew on the attack, and she mishits it into the net. A side out for the Cyclones, and it's 13-10. Back to serve will be Grace Vanonic, her second serve of the contest, and her team leading this time 13-10. She found herself knotted at 1 in her first service. That goes just into the tape. Can't get the roll over the top. So it'll be a side out on the service error, and back to serve will be the libero for the Heat, number 10, Carly Tate. Short. Brown is there. It's in the net, but Vanonic did her best to try and draw it out of the net. Couldn't do so. A point for Carly Tate. Makes her 4th service point and cuts the lead to 1, 13-12. Brown is there. Vanonic sets back to Despain. Off the block, dug by Ryan. It's going to be pushed across by Ferguson. Vanonic now, back set to Welsh. Welsh is dug by Haynes, an overpass. Welsh is going to hit it again. Haynes digs it again. Ferguson is there. It's going to be bumped across. Phelps to Vanonic, outside to Despain, and it's in. Or out, I guess. Did she say that was in or out?
I think the line judge called it out, but some disagreement from the officials. Wasn't sure which way they were going to call it.
Well, it's West Prairie's serve, so they called it in.
Okay.
Back to serve will be Addison Despain. Yeah, I thought she said out too, but
that's what I thought the motion she made.
It bounced before it hit her, and it had to have been in, but I think she thought it hit her in the air, to be honest with you. Haynes, now it's going to be a free ball by Ryan, and it's way out of play. Coach Paul did her best to try and jump and catch it. Couldn't quite get there. Despain gets the service point, and it's 15-12. Despain with the jump serve again. Haynes is there, rolled right up her arm. Kidd brings it up enough to get it over with Ryan's help. Now off the block. That was Maddie Hood with the kill for the Cyclones. Unofficially her second kill. Despain with her 4th service point. She's back to serve again. Despain on the serve, off the net. The let serve falls as an ace. And John, you don't do a whole lot of games with me, but I've said all along that when they let the let serve in, if you could figure out some way to do that every time, it's the most dangerous serve in all of volleyball.
It certainly is. Just in the net, slowing down. I don't know.
It's not even fair.
It's not at all. But
it's not even the least bit fair. This game being brought to you by Yetter Farm Equipment. Yetter Farm Equipment with facilities in Colchester, Macomb, Illinois, is an agricultural equipment manufacturer that has been in the business since 1930 and is currently hiring. Start a new career with excellent benefits and starting hourly wages of $18 to $24 per hour. For more information, call 309-776-4111 or visit them online at yetterco.com/careers. So we do want to welcome everybody who is watching right now. If you are watching us, Tell us where you're watching us from. The live chat is open. Tell us where you're watching us from. Who are you rooting for? Specific number. Give your favorite player a shout-out if you would. We would greatly appreciate it. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe to the Hewlett Public Pro LLC YouTube channel as Despain serves it deep and out of play. And it is a side out for the Heat. Ryan back to serve now. It's deep. Brown is there. And it goes off of a couple of Heat players. Allie Arnold with the kill. It's 18-13. Miller is going to set near side to Kidd. Kidd dug by Hood. Bit of a miscommunication between Arnold and Powell there. Results in a side out. And Miller back to serve, and it is out. Dueling service errors now for these two squads, it seems like, or errors of one nature or another. Ava Beck going back to serve now. 19-14 is the score. Cyclones with the lead and to serve. Tate is there. Miller goes to Haynes. She hits it deep. Beck, Vanonic to Powell, who tips it over to Miller. Haynes is going to send a free ball across. Despain. Back to Despain now on the back row attack. Miller's there. Haynes is going to set Kidd with a bump set. Despain. Now it's going to be Vanonic pushing it across. Tate's going to set Kidd. Kidd drops it in front of the back line of defense for the Cyclones, and now Bree Kidd is going to go back to serve on the side out for the Heat. Allie Arnold from the right side that time tips it across. Kidd is there. Back row attack coming from Ryan. It's dug by Brown. Back row attack coming from Despain, and that's in for a kill. As we're having some technical issues with our mouse here. I don't know if my computer locked up or what happened here, folks. I apologize. It is 20-15. Despain on the front row attack that time. And Haynes gets a kill for the Heat. She'll go back to serve now as it's 20-16. Nope, she's not going to serve. Morgan Campbell's checking in to serve for her. So it's 20-16. Set number 2, the Heat playing for their season here. If they can't win this one, they don't have a shot of moving on as they are down 1-0. Despain with the big-time attack. And it is in. A kill for Addison Despain. Unofficially her 7th kill. And now Jersey Brown goes back to serve for the Heat, or for the Cyclones. 21-16 is the score. Brown again with the serve. Ferguson is there. It's going to come out to Ryan. Ryan hits it deep into the corner, and it's in. Bailey Ryan with her 2nd kill as she's helps keep her team in it. Down by 4, 21-17 here in set number 2. Cyclones lead 1-0. Bailey Ferguson now goes back to serve. Ferguson's serve is deep. Janie Phelps is there. Vanonic to the hard-hitting Addison Despain, who abuses a block, and it goes out of bounds. Despain unofficially with her 8th kill gives her team a 22-17 advantage. And Grace Vanonic checking in to serve, or coming back to serve for the Cyclones. Her serve's dug by Campbell. Miller comes back set to Ryan. She hits it across. Vanonic. Brown's going to set to Welsh. Welsh is going to get the kill. Kinley Welsh gets the kill, unofficially her 5th. And it's 23-17. The Cyclones 2 points away from finding their way to a semifinal regional appearance against either United or BPC. Short serve is dug by Ferguson. Mayhew's going to send it across. Phelps is there. Vanonic going to set out to Despain again off the block, but Carly Tate digs it this time. It's going to be Mayhew who's going to have to send it out. She tried to send it across, couldn't get there to hit it. tried to send a free ball across. It falls. Venonic serving for set and match point here. 24-17. Grace Venonic the jump serve. It's off the hands of Morgan Campbell, and West Prairie is going to find their way to semifinal round action against either United or BPC. We'll find out who that is in just a little bit as those two teams play next here in IHSA Class A regional action at West Prairie High School. We'll take a very quick break, and we'll come back with some stats here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH, and then we'll get ready for our second broadcast of the evening.
I have my certificate in vestibular rehabilitation, which focuses on patients with dizziness and balance disorders. It's been very rewarding because a lot of times it's a very short-lived treatment plan, and the patient has remarkable results in a small amount of time.
Dry needling is where you insert a filiform needle into a muscle, a tendon, a ligament, sometimes a bone, and it promotes blood flow and circulation so that it heals that particular painful area.
Welcome back to West Prairie High School. Real quick, we'll look at some stats for the West Central Heat. 2 blocks and 2 kills for Harley Haynes. 3 points, 1 block, and 2 kills for Bailey Ryan. 2 kills for 2 points for Bailey Ferguson. 4 points for Carly Tate. 1 point for Bree Kidd with 2 kills, and 1 point for Libby Miller. The offense was not there, and neither was the serving, as serve receive was pretty solid for the Cyclones. For West Prairie, these are all unofficial stats, of course. Jersey Brown with 3 points, 9 service points, 4 aces, and 3 kills for Grace Venonic. Ava Beck had 4 points, 3 points, an ace, and 5 kills for Kinley Welsh. 5 points, an ace, and 8 kills for Addison Despain. Allie Arnold had 2 points and 1 kill. Maddie Hood had 1 point and 2 kills, and Ellie Powell had 3 kills for the Cyclones. And, John, it was a pretty quick contest for the Cyclones, who really got their first action in about a week and a half.
Yeah, and how big was it for them to win that first game? Just seeing what it feels like to be back on the court after that break. They came out in the second game, did their job, was able to walk away with the win and moving on in the regional.
Yeah, it's hey, would you get Coach Paul and see if she'd come up here and talk to us for a second? Yeah, I mean, that's at this point it's do or die, right? You don't have a choice. If you want to keep playing, you got to win. So that's what you got to do, and that's what they did. You always have a few things, at this point in the season you have things that are against you. Nothing goes right all season long. Some adversity is what happened. They found the adversity to be at least tolerable. They get the first round win, and you would expect, the way this deal's supposed to work, everything's supposed to get harder from here on out, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, a big reason they were able to step up to the call tonight, big part to Addison Despain. I believe you had her unofficially at 8 kills. And it's in these type of games where you want your best players to step up and play their best, and she most certainly did in that matchup. And she's a big part of why West Prairie was able to come away with the win.
Yeah, 8 kills unofficially. And I say that 8 kills unofficially, but 4 of them were from the back row. Back row attacks are not the norm per se, and she had 4 of them, if my stats were correct. But Coach Paul is trying to find her way around. This side of the gym is a little more full than normal for Coach Paul. As you're going to see her walk across. You always have to do this, Coach. I always want to talk to you. Whenever I get the chance, I'm never going to pass up the chance to talk to Coach Paul. I don't get to do it very often. So, well, Coach, adversity is kind of part of life, right? You guys had some adversity last week, and you came back tonight, and maybe you didn't play great out of the gate, but they responded, and you got a win.
Yeah, we're just trying to do some small things better, things that we didn't do in the season, and we're just starting over. 1-0, we're starting over.
Well, and that's the nice thing. You get that chance, right? I mean, when that happened, if it had been a few days later, you wouldn't even get to be here today. So, I mean, you would be here technically because you had enough people to play, but all the players wouldn't be here. So you have to use that as some point of motivation, I would think, right?
Correct. Just, do your best, enjoy playing, go hard. It's one day at a time.
Well, I haven't got to see you guys a lot because Greg does most of your games and you guys play, volleyball's pretty much played on the same night. So Addison Despain, I had her for 8 kills tonight, but I think 4 of them were back row attacks. She's hitting the ball pretty well for having a week and a half off or whatever, isn't she?
Yeah, she has a lot of swings every time we play. We have just quite a crew of people that just need lots and lots of time and repetition, and we have a lot of options. We just have to work to get there. Well,
you guys played pretty well coming off. And at this point, it's really about winning a game, right? You don't have to really look ahead. You got to look at the next opponent. You guys are a little lucky, I guess, because you get to watch this game now, and you'll see who you play tomorrow night. And you do maybe have an hour or so before the game tomorrow night. So do you see anything? I mean, you've probably seen both these teams. So do you think they'll bring anything that'll surprise you tonight?
Well, we've played both teams. We've split with Monmouth United. So I'm just really concentrating on playing reasonably clean on our side and let that take us where it will. If we continue to make lots of errors, nobody's successful in volleyball making a lot of errors.
Yeah, passing and taking care of the ball is the big thing, right? You don't have to hit it hard, just make sure it gets to the other side and force them into an error, right?
Right, so that's been our focus all year.
Well, Coach, I'll let you get out of here. I appreciate you coming up and talking to me. I don't get to talk to you as much as I'd like, but I do appreciate you being here. Greg will be back tomorrow night, so you won't have to deal with me tomorrow night.
Okay, thank you. I enjoy you too.
Coach Paul, thank you. That's Terry Paul talking to us. We'll get off of here now and be back with our other game stream in just a few minutes as United and BPC are getting ready to go here. And we do have this stream set up for that. So we'll be back in just a few minutes here on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH.